I'm alive. I'm alive. Yes, I am. We are alive. We're alive. We're something. Let's just say that. So what's up, people? It's Deej. It's your demented pink bunny. That's right. It's the demented pink bunny, and we're just here to do a little something because, well, I was supposed to be with Han Star and Chris Knight later tonight, but Han canceled out because, well, work's kicking him in the ass and he can't stay awake. So, no Hangout Chill stream tonight over on Han Star's channel. So, it's just us doing things. Hello, Resolute Germ. It is just us chickens here, clucking away. Cluck, 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 clucking away. So, yeah. I figured we'll just talk some random stuff that's going on. And then we'll see what the hell's... What's up? Hello, Wookie, multi-gunman. Well, multi-gunman, what the fuck's going on here? It's me doing a stream in prime time. It's prime time live. No, I was just saying, I put out a tweet earlier today on the Twitter about we were doing this hangout chill, gonna be on Han Star's channel tonight, but Han's tired, he's wore out, work's kicking him in the ass, so he can't stay awake, so he's going to bed, which means that stream is canceled for tonight, and well, I said the hell with it, here I am. What the fuck, I can do this if I want. Plus, somebody had to. So yeah, here's the Deej. Deej. So how's Wookie doing? How's Multi-Gunman? How's Resolute doing out there tonight? Anything happening in your part of the woods? I had to get a big laugh from earlier today, and I will even show the picture. Yeah, you know, there's more congressional hearing crap going on, and Rand Paul was talking to Fauci again, and well, Fauci was complaining and whining and crying about some things, and he held up a campaign ad from Rand Paul, and I think it's fitting. I think it's fitting. Fauci wants Fauci fired. Hey, you know, I'm probably gonna get slapped for this one, but hey, this one's funny. This is funny. So, are we to take it he's agreeing or something? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was funny. I had to put that one out. Yeah, Snow Double be on hollers. You know, you just don't hold up a picture like that. Yeah, you take easy a bit. I just yeah, I seen some things I didn't. I figured I'd stream. But hell, I'm gonna put this out there. If anybody wants to jump up, if I want you up here, I'll let you up here. If I don't want you up here, I won't let you up here. It's just that way. Yes, they're gonna drag this BS on forever. Yes, it's not gonna be a long stream. I could end it at any moment, LDG. Any moment I could end this stream. Just never know. I'm waiting for the new snow to arrive this weekend. I don't wear face diapers. I go out and do my shopping. I don't wear those damn things, multi-gunman. And I'm in a state that tells you you're supposed to. And we still don't. But hey, that's how Deej rolls. I'm a rebel. A rebel without a cause. So I just rebel against everything. So, let me see here. What's going on in the world that maybe I could talk about that might be interesting? You know, besides Fauci crying. Ah, there is Sherry. Sherry, baby. Sherry. Yes, the lovely Sherry's in the chat tonight. Well, you know, Mulligan, they tell us they find us too, but we just tell them to kiss our butts and we go on and do our things because, you know. Okay, I can't really see anything on that I want to talk about. Hi, Carol. So, yeah. And hello there, Commodore Ty. It's been a while since I've seen you around. How the hell are you? And Son of Red Shirt's in here. You know, it's just a crazy world going on. At least nobody important passed away, I think, today. I haven't seen anybody tweeting out anybody, so at least that happened. And we saw that, well, let's see. What's going on there? Let's see what Multigunman has to say. Well, we all need to start doing what you guys are doing in your state. Start pushing back against the, idiots. Yeah, and I'm in Illinois, which is a jumbo crap run state, but we still push back. Except for the idiots in Cook County. They're completely morons up there, but you know, that's Chicago, so the rest of us, we just flip them off, say the hell with you. My day's been pretty good. I got some work done. I ate some beans. I'm gassing myself out now. That's kind of horrible. Yeah. Yes, Shifty, I did see that rock face fall on the boat and kill all those people. That's why you don't want to go too close to those damn things out in the boat. No, Professor Brainy Specs. No, 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 no.
I'm trying to send a distress signal. Stop talking about doctors.
I'm a doctor.
I'm the doctor.
I'm the doctor!
No, Doctor, I'm the doctor, and I say that you're not fit.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor.
The original, you might say.
The definite article.
But probably not the one you're expecting.
I'm the doctor. Hello, Raquel. Hello, Darius Munchausen. Why did I say that like Dracula? What the hell? Darius Munchausen. Somebody's going to suck your blood. All right, so yeah, I've lost my mind. Wait a minute, I never had a mind. Okay, let somebody let me borrow a mind so I could lose it. You know, all these people had their hopes up to play Jackbox earlier. I wonder if I should play Jackbox. I don't know. I'll think about it. Your mind's a little bit warped and twisted there too, LDG. Come on. Did you ever get your face figured out, or are you still blurry when you turn on a cam? No, Hanstar has canceled for tonight. He's extremely tired because work's kicking him in the ass, and he just can't quite stay asleep, so he's canceled the stream for the night. That's why I jumped on and started to stream, so because there's going to be no Hanstar tonight. He went to beddy bye. He's counting the electronic sheep as they hop over their fence. No, he's don't have it again. He's just work's been kicking him in the ass, and he's tired, and he's just crashing. He's probably still recovering from the last go around. That was only like 2 weeks ago, so no Hanstar tonight. Yeah, it was going to be my first debut as part of Team Hanstar 2 tonight, and it's canceled. So you're stuck with the third-rate member of the team here streaming. Unless Chris is off streaming somewhere, then you can always go find Chris. Han works for the railroad. I've been working for the railroad all the live long day. Darius says, when you wish upon Hanstar, makes no difference who you... No, never mind. Thank you, Commodore. Yeah, you guys gotta really quit setting me up to sing, because you know I can't sing worth shit. Let me see. CP Rail, Canadian Pacific? Is that what that is? Canadian Pacific? And Rabbit Slug is here, and 54.5 Access Radio has entered the house saying hashtag Pooh Bear Forever with a couple of bunnies. Jedi Bill has popped in. And Professor Brainy Specs is mad for some reason. Must be my singing again. I know, it's horrible. That's right, Rabbit Slug. Yeah, I put it on Discord so you would know that I was live. We just... And guess what? There is no Minecraft here, folks. Not one bit of Minecraft will be played on this stream. So, you're welcome. You are welcome. Uh-oh, we've got the lovely Sherry and Rabbit Slug Ouchies in the chat at the same time. Will there be stabby stabbies? Or will there be peace? Stay tuned. Sorry, I got this kind of thing going through my head because I started watching Soap earlier today, too. You remember that old TV show, Soap? The Tates and the Campbells? I love that show. So I started watching it today. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-dum. Bum ba-dum ba-dum ba-da-da-dum ba-dum ba-dum ba-da-da-da-dum. Yeah, no salt or knives. Yes, Benson was a spinoff from Soap, because Benson was originally on Soap for the beginning of it, and then Benson went off because he was the most popular character on there, and they gave him his own show. No Minecraft for Deej. No Minecraft for Deej. I didn't want to cook either. I had beans earlier for lunch, and that was a mistake because now I'm really gassing myself out. And then I just had ramen noodles a little bit ago. And Poe is in the house. Welcome, Poe. Not to be confused with the Poe that is a Teletubby or the Poe that is a ghost that floats around on that one video game. Yeah. What the hell video game was that? Some bitch. My mind is really going tonight. Anyway, somebody will tell me. Legend of Zelda, that's right. See, there we go. And Kapla, Bird of Prey 5 is in the chat. Yeah, actually, I kind of liked that first episode of Soap, too, because Catherine Hellman was in that little tennis outfit. She had some nice legs back then. And not a bad pair of knockers. I know, Bird is awake. It's past his bedtime, but he still managed to come in to say Kapla. Because bird, bird's a word. What a bird, the bird is a word. Well, don't you know about the bird? Well, everybody know. Or Poe says, or Poe from Kung Fu Panda. Or Con Air Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Poe is just Poe. He's so dizzy, his head is spinning. Like a whirlwind, it never ends. You're making him dizzy. I can't quite. I watched Brazil so long ago. It's hard to remember that far back. Son of a red shirt. And hello, world. It's Bird of Prey 5.
Hello, world. It's Bird of Prey 5. Now, I don't have headphones in. So, are you getting feedback?
Not really. Not that bad.
It sounded like it might have been.
And I will refrain from saying the A word so it don't set that off.
Hello, everybody in chat. Thank you for saying hello. Kapla.
Hello, Mr. Lundell.
Kronos.
So why aren't you in bed?
I know I should be, but I'm being honest with you, Deej. My nighttime has drifted about an hour later than it used to be. And I'm waking up about an hour later than I used to. I used to be up at 5 a.m. or 6 at the latest. Now I'm up closer till 7 a.m. Sometimes even not before 7 a.m. So things have changed.
Well, that's okay. It's the winter time, and I'm sleeping in these days too, so I quite enjoy it.
Still not late enough for most streams, but an 8 p.m. Eastern stream, 8:30 even, I can at least say hello for the first half hour.
Well, I'm glad that you popped by to say hello. I don't get to see you that much. Or when I do, I just pull across and I lurk. I lurk.
How are you doing? Are you feeling better?
Well, I'd feel much better if I hadn't ate all them damn beans earlier today.
Well, I guess that's better than you were.
The air freshener is working overtime tonight.
The air pressure.
The air freshener. I got this.
Oh, air
machine
freshener.
that sucks in all the bad stuff.
Yes, I understand.
Usually it's just for my smoke when I have a cigarette, but tonight it's pulling in a heck of a lot extra. And Mr. Londell said, try adding bone broth to your diet. It works wonders.
What what does bone broth do?
Maybe it makes you go to sleep earlier. I don't know. Any of the ideas that I could have that would make you go to sleep earlier, you can't quite do right now. Can't have stiff drink. Can't have the company of a lovely lady over.
Bone broth or boner broth? Because one of those would be helpful.
So, you know, Sherry is in the chat right now. If you want to sit there and talk about that mall again.
I'll pass. I'll pass. I could tell. I don't think it was a subject she enjoyed speaking about.
Yes, Kronos, boner broth. I don't know. Sherry could, well, the stabby Sherry could jump up here and let you know if it was not a subject to talk about or something.
And exactly what subject would you want to talk about, Deej?
Yeah,
Hi.
it's Mama Bray.
It is. It is. And how are you feeling?
Well, you know,
She
it
wasn't
was
here
a
when
little-
I asked a minute ago.
Oh, no, I was outside.
Well,
in
I
this-
won't talk about the problem with the beans, but you know what? If it was a little bit warmer, the arthritis would feel a little bit better.
Yes,
This
that I
cold weather-
understand.
This cold weather is rough on the old Arthur.
Tell me. I know.
And within a week, I got to go out into this crap again and do cattle again with more shots.
Do cattle.
No Kronos.
Do
no
I
Mom.
dare ask him what he does to the cattle?
Last
Well,
time he was pregnant.
I got to run them down. Well, we already did all the pregnancy tests, so the pregnancy tests are all done. We know which ones are pregnant, which ones weren't. The ones that weren't got shipped off to the meat market.
Oh,
But they get a round of shots. You get one shot, and then 3 weeks later, you got to give them a shot again. So, in about a week,
They're getting their vaccinations.
well, cattle get their own type of things. You know, it's not that bug thing for the thing that don't work anyway. It's a different thing. They get them. It's vitamins and such.
do they stand still while you give them the shots?
Well, you kind of run them into a chute with the things that go on either side of their neck, so it holds them in place while you give them the shot, because they tend to try to run you over.
I kind of thought that might happen.
I've been hit a few times by cattle when they don't want to cooperate, and luckily the bulls have not hit me yet.
I was going to ask, where do they hit you? Never mind. I don't
I've
really
been-
want to know that.
Well, I have not been hit in that area yet, but I have been hit in the hip. I've been hit in the arm. I've been kicked in the leg. And you know the term for when you get extremely drunk?
There's a
You
lot
get-
of them. I can't think of one.
What's the S one? S spaced, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh no.
I've literally been that.
Oh. Oh boy.
You know,
Yeah.
it flies.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they're just dropping it all over the place and they start stomping and kicking and everything else and it just flies, you get hit with that stuff in the face.
Yeah. You
It's
know,
not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight.
the you know those clear face masks that the hospital workers have been using since COVID?
Yeah, that wouldn't work because it'd just smear all over it, and I still wouldn't be able to see a damn thing.
Yeah.
I'd have to have a windshield wiper put on it, and I'd have to have like a bucket of water on my head to shoot water on it, and that'd get really uncomfortable and hard to move around.
I know. I got it, Deej. Remember the mask I was going to wear?
Yeah, we bring that up every once in a while, and we keep wondering if you're going to get that pillowcase out. And
No, but think about it. I'll certainly donate pillowcases to you, and you can cut the eye holes out. And then, if you think they're stomping, just close your eyes and
well, I
then
wear
toss the
glasses.
pillowcase.
I wear glasses.
Oh, okay. So little windshield wipers on the glasses.
And plus, the person that comes with the vet probably wouldn't like to see that.
Oh, I could send you red one.
Oh yeah, then I'd be the grand one. There you go.
Oh God. With this note, I'm going to have a cup of coffee.
More coffee
Take
from Mama
care.
Frey.
I'm
Great to have
sure
you here, man.
pillowcases are available in black or purple or rainbow color.
Purple and blue might be okay. I don't want a rainbow color one. Yes, Mr. Londell, that's exactly where we were going with that.
I pleaded innocent. I wanted to be a ghost.
Yeah.
Well, you'd have to do like the Charlie Brown one and cut multiple eyes all over it. And then I'd have Mr. Londell tracking me down for being a dum-dum for wearing that. Yeah.
Mama Bray had to go phone call.
Well, it was great to have Mom on for a
Yeah.
short bit.
It's rare to have the speakers working when she's around. So I
And
like
no
the good old
Kronos.
days.
No, Kronos, you didn't get a tail tonight. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Well, I guess I don't have to stay up late tonight either, then. I can go to bed early. Since there will be no Han stream.
There'll be no what stream?
Tonight Hanstar wanted to do the first stream since JJ's passing with the new member of Team Hanstar up with him, and we were going to do like Jackbox and that, but then he's so tired he decided to go to bed and cancel the stream out. So I think we were going to do Jackbox tonight, but no Jackbox tonight.
You should do Jackbox.
Oh.
I think there's an 8 out. Did you get it?
I haven't got it yet because I was reading through the names of the games and how they were, and they all sounded stupid as hell.
I understand why I just don't make frickin', Fibbage 4 or whatever they're up to.
I know, Fibbage 4 or Quiplash 4. But none of those.
They have to know which are the ones people are playing over and over again.
I don't know. Maybe eventually here, if it hits a sale or something, I'll get the number 8 and try out some of those games. But they just did not seem very fun. One of them was one of them you had to draw shit, and it's hard for some people to draw with a little tablet or phone or some shit. Yeah.
So, we could do the the fast food report. Did you see Taco Bell's got a new item on their menu?
No, I did not see that Taco Bell has a new item.
Taco Bell is experimenting with wings, chicken wings. So they have a 5-piece chicken wing.
Taco Bell
yeah.
should not be doing chicken wings.
I know it has nothing to do with tacos, but they tried their fried chicken taco, and apparently it was a hit. So they decided to try these 5-piece wings for $5.99. Unfortunately, my Taco Bell here doesn't have it. So, and even if they do, it's only available on evenings, like after 2 p.m. So they're never going to put it on their takeout menu. So I'll never get a chance to try them. Oh, hey, Darren.
Hello, Bird. Hello, Deej. How are you guys
Hello,
doing tonight?
Darren. Well, okay.
Taco
I
Bell's
should-
experimented with a lot of stuff. They even had fries at one point.
I showed something funny at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if you saw or not. I got quite a laugh out of it. It involved Fauci today in a congressional hearing.
Oh, was it with Rand Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
This is what Fauci held up during the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Project Veritas released some stuff that FBI documents that contradicted his under oath testimony.
Yeah,
So
they
now
did.
he's-
But, well, hell, his own testimony you can contradict with a ABC interview he did last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he thinks we're all so stupid and don't watch these things, and we won't remember what he said 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, Taco Bell. I mean, every every fast food place experiments with different things. I mean, the story about how he got the chicken fillet sandwich from McDonald's is a pretty fascinating one too. You know, Ray Kroc didn't want his burger joints, his burger stands smelling like fish, and so he fought against it. And his solution was something called a hula burger, which was the reason why they came up with why they needed something was because the McDonald's is in high Catholic populations during Lent were losing their butts. So they had to have an alternative on the menu that to beef and or to any kind of meat really. And since Catholics are allowed to eat fish as a in place of normal terrestrial meats, this guy came up with a fish fillet sandwich, and Ray Kroc wanted instead to have this thing called the hula burger, which was a ring of grilled pineapple in place of the meat patty, and then it had pickles and garnish and a bun. And they had a competition to see who sold more of them on a Friday night in the Milwaukee area, I think it was. And well, when Ray Kroc saw the numbers of the fish fillet sandwich, he didn't even bother telling the guy how many he sold. He just said, "Okay, it's on the menu."
And hello, Epsilon Minus.
I do not like fast food fish, but I think I'd like it over a fast food whatever.
You know, at the bar I worked at, we had good fish sandwiches.
Right.
But those damn things that you get at McDonald's are so soggy and floppy and
yeah.
And
it's a different fish every year. They always go with the least expensive fish for their fish fillet. So some year it'll be haddock, sometimes it'll be cod, sometimes it'll be tip whatever that one of the ones begins with a T.
Hell, it could be Asian carp for all you know.
It's all done on the ship too.
Goldfish.
A lot of it.
Those damn Asian carp will jump right in the boat for them. So it's like,
yeah,
that's really nasty tasting fish.
Yeah, they are. Now, up here in Wisconsin, we have a fast food place called Culver's, which is sort of headquartered.
We got
here.
Culver's. We got
Yeah,
Culver's
well,
around here too.
Yeah, you're in Illinois, but they're headquartered up here. They're from Wisconsin, and they have a very good Atlantic cod sandwich. It's more expensive than a filet of fish sandwich, but you'll notice immediately, where your money went as soon as you bite into it, because it's a real fillet of fish. So.
You know what, Darius? Arby's just opened up in this town like 2 months ago. I still have not seen them advertising that on the menu. All I see is the roast beef stuff. The first month and a half, they kept running out of damn curly fries. I'd get pissed.
Yeah, I've never been to an Arby's. There's a couple of places I've never been. Yeah, I mean they've been around here forever, but I just went to a Coney Island for the first time in first time ever about 4 years ago. I was not impressed.
You went to a what?
A Coney Island restaurant. There's a chain of hot dog fast food places called what?
You mean Nathan's?
Well, here it's called
Nathan's
Coney. It's called Coney Island.
Okay, well Nathan's is the Coney Island hot dog chain.
Okay. They must call it something else out in New York where there's an actual Coney Island. Then.
Well, I mean, I know that there's Nathan's all around the country. They started franchising, but it sounds like Coney Island is just trying to make their name as Nathan's.
Okay.
It could be one of those situations like Hardee's and Carl's Jr. So the same damn thing, they just call them different because of location.
Like Checkers and what's that other place? It's the same thing. Rallies, Checkers and Rallies. Those are like these double drive-through stands.
See you later, Germ.
But yeah, around here they're called Coney Island. I'm sure that over on the East Coast they probably call them something different because there's an actual place called Coney Island. They don't want to step on anybody's toes. But yeah, never been to a Long John Silver's or a Red Lobster either.
I've been to both of those. I almost got kicked out of the Red Lobster.
What'd you do?
I asked the waitress if she had crabs. She
That'll
took it
do
the
it.
wrong way. She took it the wrong way. I meant the kind of crabs you eat, but the way I said it, it came out to where she thought I was asking her if she had crabs. So.
My dad went to Kentucky Fried Chicken and asked the woman behind the counter if she had any breasts, and he got kicked out too.
Happens. Some of these people are just so sensitive.
Yeah, it is. They are.
It's like the time I got banned from McDonald's because I accidentally started a grease fire.
Oh.
I threw a match in the cook's hair.
Yikes. Around here we used to have...
I stole that joke too. I stole that joke.
Growing up around here in the 80s, the number one fast food place locally, the place all the cool kids wanted to go, was a place called Rocky Rococo's Pizza. And it was a chain that specialized in Chicago-style deep dish pan pizza. And last time I ate there was like maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I can't eat that stuff. I mean, I don't know if they changed the batter or what, but I was pissing out my ass within 24 hours.
That's what happens when I try to eat White Castle.
Yeah, see, I don't get White Castle because around here, the only place we see White Castle burgers are in vending machines. There is no White Castle restaurant. And so a lot of people around here don't even know there is such a thing as a White Castle restaurant. When you say White Castle, you mean you went to a vending machine? Because they got the the ones in the vending machine.
Actually, there's a local radio station in the Quad Cities, which is Iowa, Illinois border. They would send a plane every year, once a year, up to Chicago just to get freaking White Castle burgers.
That's weird.
And fly them back. and I could never see it because some things are nasty.
Yeah, they're sliders. They're real cheap, apparently. That's what I've heard.
And they only got more popular after that stupid Harold and Kumar movie.
Yeah, I never seen that. But yeah, there's all kinds of chains that are regional, like Red Robin and Jack in the Box.
We've got a Red Robin here. I love their burgers.
Yeah.
I love their onion rings too.
We have Wendy's up here too.
I thought everybody had Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's is pretty national.
Yeah. Every time I look at the sign though, now I think of Carrot Top.
Before he got all jacked.
Yeah, before he got jacked, when he said, "I'd like to put my hair in pigtails and drive up to the drive-thru on Wendy's and look at them like, with a real ugly face." Oh my God, Wendy's here!
I just seen this interview the other day with Carrot Top, and he was talking about why he got so jacked.
Yeah.
He was doing Vegas out there, and he was regular in Vegas show, and he had nothing else to do, so he'd go down to the gym and just work out for hours at a time.
Yeah.
And he never realized that he'd gotten so big until Gene Simmons pointed it out to him.
Huh. Well, that's a pretty good endorsement, huh?
And when Gene Simmons started talking to him about it, he's like, "My God, I got huge. What the hell?" And then he started effing with Gene Simmons by telling him that he'd never heard of Kiss before. If they were some sort of new band or something out.
Kiss was a band that I have vague childhood memories of. So I was born in 73, so they hit their stride right around the time I was maybe 5 years old, and I was terrified of them, particularly Gene Simmons.
Spitting blood, shooting fire.
Yeah, and of course, I never really listened to their music, and then years later, there's this groovy little song, on the radio, do 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 do, and I'm thinking, oh wow, who is that?
For loving you,
exactly,
baby. You were made for loving me.
And
yes, I know Kiss.
And I'm like, that was a Kiss song? I thought they'd be much more, acidic, in their, like something that sounds a little bit more like Black Sabbath. And I'm sort of like, wow, these guys were like bubblegum, pop.
Yeah,
and
you didn't know Beth was a damn Kiss song? Beth,
no, I mean, I
hear you calling, but I can't come home.
Yeah, and so yeah, I mean, their look was so totally evil to me as a child that I didn't realize their music was kind of happy.
Well, some of their songs were heavier side, but they had a lot of the upbeat, happier stuff too. The worst
I remember
thing they ever did was go without makeup. Then they went.
Yeah. In the 80s, they dropped that, and they still wore makeup. It just wasn't that kabuki makeup. It was like regular male model makeup. But I remember seeing Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. It was a movie that was so bad they never released it in theaters. It just went straight to ABC, and they played it as their like Sunday night movie one summer. I think it was maybe in 78 or 79 they played it.
Hello, Mike.
And I remember watching that, and because in that movie,
horrible.
Well, in that movie, they were a band, but they also had superpowers.
Yep.
So to a little kid who can't yet really determine reality from fiction, it was. And they had all these superhero names like Star Child and the Demon, and Space Ace. But Peter Criss, I remember him because he has the thickest, worst New York accent ever, and he's sitting there with sounding like a New York cab driver trying to explain to them how their magic talismans work, and trying to sound like Gandalf and not pulling it off. They should have dubbed him. What about you, Bird? You're probably a little bit too young for Kiss, huh?
Kiss? I mean, I knew who they were,
Yeah.
but I never cared for their music.
Yeah.
I only liked Sinatra and stuff, so
Yeah.
it was a
When I was in
weird.
the Navy, I had a brief.
Kiss actually played in my house.
Oh wow! Really?
My house was owned by a guy who had it set up as a music studio.
Oh,
It was called Bayside Music Studio for 20 years, and like my basement was literally had the music studio set up, and he had a bunch of pictures of bands and people who played here, and like I didn't recognize any of them, but I could recognize Kiss. I mean, I knew how they were. They stood out.
Yeah.
So he's like, wow, he didn't give them to me or anything, but if you Google somewhere, there's Bayside Music Studio online, and he had a website. He had it still up, and he just had old pictures of, and it doesn't look anything like that now, but it was my basement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was on the East Coast, I had a brief flirtation with the Misfits, Glenn Danzig's original band.
Bird's Basement, folks.
Yeah, and so I bought a T-shirt that had their skull face on it or whatever, and people were like, "Oh, are you from Jersey?" And no, I'm from Wisconsin. Oh, you got a Misfits T-shirt on. I'm like, yeah, I know, I bought it. But
well, what do you think of a little Illinois band called Cheap Trick?
I can't think of a single song they did.
I Want You to Want Me?
Okay, I've heard that one. Yeah, I just didn't know they did it.
The theme for that 70s show?
Well, I've never seen that show.
Okay.
You've never seen that 70s show?
No.
You gotta watch it. It's classic. You'd
think
love
it was-
Red. Red is you.
You'd love Red.
Is he the guy that's played by Clarence Bodiger?
If he's the guy that played the captain in that time ship in Voyager, then yes.
Yeah, he was the bad guy in RoboCop. Clarence Bodiger, unofficial crime boss of old Detroit. So I know he's in that show, but I've never seen the show.
He's hilarious in that show.
That's good, because for a while there, he was
The
only
Flame.
playing bad guys. But
The Flame, Cheap Trick, Surrender.
Oh.
They even did a remake of an Elvis song. They got pretty popular there for a while.
huh? Don't Be Cruel.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Little Rockford, Illinois band. Every year they put on a free concert for the people in Rockford.
That's nice. Wisconsin doesn't have a whole lot of bands. The Cordettes came from Wisconsin. They were up in Sheboygan. Lollipop and Mr. Sandman. It's not exactly rock though.
The Mr. Lundell should be up here right now because we're talking
Yeah.
movies,
Music.
TV, music. He'd be a good voice to this. What's up, Gascar? Nope. So let's see. Who else? Trying to think of some more smaller, obscure bands that not the big hit liners like AC/DC and shit.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when you get these bands that are so associated with a certain region, like Bon Jovi, for example, is the other band from New Jersey. that.
Yeah, and we know the only band from New Jersey that counts is John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Oh, okay.
Do you even know who they are?
The Dark Side.
Yep.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
they provided most of the music for Eddie and the Cruisers, didn't they?
For 1 and 2.
Yeah. Michael Perry got to pretend he could sing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was actually John Cafferty singing the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody thought he sounded too much like Bruce Springsteen, so
Yeah.
they just didn't go nowhere.
Yeah. Springsteen, it's so funny because about 20 years ago he stopped. Actually, longer than that, about 25 years ago, he stopped actually performing "Born in the USA" in concert because he hated how people would cheer it. Like, it's not supposed to be a patriotic song, and it's not supposed to make you feel good because people don't listen to the lyrics. It's
supposed to be a protest song.
Yeah, so he just stopped playing it.
Ask and you shall receive.
Yeah. Yeah, Springsteen was one of those guys in the 80s who gave those long-ass concerts, like 4 hours.
I just wanted you up here so I could see Uhura.
Pick one.
Three Uhuras.
All three of them. All three of them. I pick all three.
See, I'm weird. I look at the Defiant first and then the Uhuras.
Yeah, and
The Uhura. The Uhura
Bird
sisters.
looks at the batleth first.
I think he needs a dark tog for his wall too, instead of that other dagger. Or the Mechleth. I actually thought the Mechleth was cooler because,
I'm looking for a Mechleth, an affordable Mechleth.
Oh yeah.
They cost more than the damn batleth did.
Yeah.
I don't think he's drunk, Kronos. Jeez.
There's a guy who makes weapons out of aluminum, fantasy weapons, replicas. His name is, I think his last name is Cthulhu or something. He's
Michael Cthulhu.
Yes, that's who it is. Yeah, and he did a sword of Kalas.
Yeah.
That was heavy as F, and he tried to use it to like cut things with it.
Yeah, he
and
does that with all those blades he makes.
Yeah. But I mean, if you go to what's his name, Shadiversity, Shad Brooks, who does all kinds of analysis of medieval and fantasy weapons. He gets to the batleth and he's just like, "This is not a sword," It's like he just gets all upset.
He's right. It's not.
Yeah, it isn't. It was made for looks.
Klingons have a sword. It's called a Mechleth.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it was designed so that it's basically almost like a dance baton. It was designed to look cool and alien for fight choreography.
Yeah,
it wasn't designed to be practical.
I ran across another guy that did a video about the feasibility of a batleth. Damn, I sent it out. I tweeted it out. So if you're part of my Twitter, maybe you got it. And he actually had some pretty decent things to say about a bat.
Yeah. I remember when Worf killed Duras with it, and they showed Duras laying there with the batleth sticking out of his chest, and it was only it could only have been in his chest like maybe 2 inches. It doesn't have a lot of good stabbing power. It's not like running somebody through with a long sword. It's like you poke them basically. But he must have hit him just right. But I mean, that's why I kind of like the Mechleth a little bit better, and the Dark Tog dagger as well.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can really get some cuts in there.
The thing about a batleth and a Mechleth, it's a hacking weapon. It's not really. That's swords.
Yeah.
You can be quite precise with a sword. But
Yep.
Mechleth reminds me of an Egyptian sickle sword.
Yeah.
Which is, the one a lot of historians think that, the Israelis used under Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
And it explains why after a battle they had the 7-day ritual, because you go into battle with one of those things, blood, bone, bile,
Yeah.
you take, it's flying, you'd go nuts. So you need a little time to wind down.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll bet.
me just fooling around with this damn thing, that's what it would be like. It would be, the first person to take a chunk out of the other one wins.
Yeah. But I always remember, Worf is they introduced the Macleth and him practicing with it on Deep Space Nine, and Dax even asking him about, why you switched weapons, and he's like, well, I wanted to explore the effectiveness of smaller weapons, and there's something of that nature. And then the next thing, that same summer, we see him in First Contact, and what does he do? He's outside the ship, and he pulls out his mek'leth and starts hacking up Borg, with it. So yeah.
Well, it makes more sense than swinging a bat'leth around and accidentally cutting your oxygen line.
Yeah. You got a little bit more control over it. They don't have to keep track of two ends. It's kind of like, Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. You have to be more careful with it. So,
you'd lose a testicle with that bad boy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's more like a staff almost, with two very dangerous areas. Yeah. As I was a kid, I was always more fascinated with hammers, just because of I collected the Thor comics in the 80s, and Thor's hammer was like, if you look at the two big comic book universes, DC and Marvel, the most formidable weapon in Marvel Comics was Thor's hammer. Over on DC, it was a Green Lantern power ring. Kind of so which one do you think I'm gonna be gravitating towards, the hammer or a piece of jewelry?
Comics have really went to hell lately.
Yeah, they have. It's
been
mostly
in hell a long time.
Yeah, but it kicked into high gear about it started kicking into high gear about 20 years ago, but then 10 years ago it really shot out there. Sana Amanat is one of the biggest reasons why. She's actually related to Huma Abedin, who is a part of the whole Hillary Clinton wing of activists, and she essentially has taken over Marvel Comics, or did at least. Technically Kevin Feige is now in charge of them too, but she's like a high-ranking editor, and she's the one that began the huge push to essentially retire their established heroes that made them money for decades, with new versions of these characters that are all designed to push political agendas. And the big one, the one that she's most proud of, is basically her. She had them create a teenage version of her called Kamala Khan, and she became the new Miss Marvel. So, and Miss Marvel is an artificial, like they keep trying to hype her, and it's like, no, fans don't like her. She's had 13 different series that have started and had to be canceled due to lack of sales, and then later in the year they just, she's getting her own series again. We're giving you another chance to like her, basically. And then they inserted her in as kind of the main character in this Marvel Avengers game that came out like a year or two ago, and it bombed the game in part because people who watch the movies are like, who's this female character that they're making me play as? I want to play as the Hulk. And it was just and of course she's a Muslim character, and she mentions that she's a Muslim every other page. That's how she's written. And the character can never change. That's one of the things about SJW created characters. They're created perfect as they are, and they cannot change.
Yes,
There's no arc. There's no arc where they learn stuff because they're created already knowing everything they're supposed to know, and that's why they're so boring.
Yeah.
And you can apply that to other characters like Michael Burnham as well.
Yeah, someone should explain to her this little concept called the hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The hero fails and he or she learns from that failure.
Yeah, I've been on message boards. Where they're like, okay, well, what would you do to make Kamala Khan more interesting? And I say, have her convert to Christianity. You want drama? you want drama? That will get you drama. Because the Muslims don't generally approve of that, obviously, and you become a persona non grata when you do that. So yeah, if you want to have an actual family drama problem in the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel comics, you have her convert to Christian. Of course, they won't, because she's created to represent a fictional version of Islam. But I mean, the responses that I got when I suggested that are, "Oh, that's just cruel," and things like that.
Well, she doesn't. She doesn't have to convert to Christianity. Just figure out that I've been wrong about something.
Yeah.
And I mean, Christians do that all the time.
Oh, exactly.
I'm wrong about this. I believe this 50 years, and I've been wrong. I'm sorry. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah. She's in a lot of ways she'd be considered a very sensitive character then in that way. But I mean, and then also, I mean, of course, the first Miss Marvel was Carol Danvers, who, believe it or not, at one point was actually a pretty likable character. But then they turned her into the new Captain Marvel, and they made her a psychopath. I mean, you think she's unlikable as Brie Larson in the movies? No. In the comics, she's a freaking psychopath, and everybody, it's just comics have gone downhill, and it's because we've got absolute hacks writing them right now who are not interested in entertaining as many people as possible. They're interested in pissing off who they don't like. And a lot of the people they don't like are existing comic book fans. I've never seen an industry that hated its own fan base more than the American comic book industry. And I remember when I used to go to conventions, when I was at that shining year and a half period where I was a pro, and I would go, and the pros were like, all smiling and saying thank you to all these fans coming up and buying their stuff and telling them how much they like their things and or their work, and then they're like, God, these people are disgusting, and they'd be just and then of course, but this is a legitimate concern. I mean, anytime you go to a convention, you always end up with post-convention crud because you got people from all over the country coming into the one confined space, and you're guaranteed to get sick the next week. And I think that's one of the reasons why they didn't like these fans. They come along and make them sick, and they're contractually obligated to go to these conventions, some of them, and it's just so
spray them down with Lysol.
Yeah. But and they all the current especially all the writers that try to break into comics, they don't really want to stay in comics. They don't really like comics. They see comics as a bridge to getting a Netflix deal. That's basically what it is. They all want to write for Hollywood. And I'll tell you something, most Hollywood writers I've met are extremely unhappy. Writers in Hollywood are treated like dirt, they're not highly paid, even if they, now they are, if they started out like writing hit novels, like Stephen King, for example. He commanded a lot of power in the beginning when they started making movies based off his books because they were guaranteed hits, right? He could tell directors things and producers. He had some command at the table. But as soon as his movies started, not making as much money, he went back to books where he's a big fish in a smaller pond, right? Yeah. So I'm still
plus,
waiting.
to be honest, how many times do you see at a get together for people to meet their favorites on the TV show? Do you actually see a writer in the lineup there?
Right. Yeah. It's going to be the actor that gets most of the attention, but yeah. I had a thought and I lost it.
Yeah, I just blew your whole train of thought.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deej.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm still waiting for a decent cinematic version of Salem's Lot. We had that one version that was from the 70s, which I think was made for TV.
Yeah, and it's perfect. Leave it alone. It scared
not
the
perfect.
shit out of me.
It's not perfect.
It scared the shit out of me.
It had Adrian Barbeau in it. Leave it alone.
It had Adrian Barbeau in it, huh? I don't remember that. No, they got the vampire all wrong. They tried to make him look a little bit too much like Nosferatu, and
that's what scared. That's what scared me.
Well, he was a scary vampire. I mean, because he channeled that Nosferatu vibe because he was bald and he had his two front teeth were the fangs. It's like, you fucked up, But anyway,
okay, that was the wrong one I was thinking of. It wasn't Adrian Barbeau. That was the wrong Stephen King one. I was thinking
there you go. Yeah, she was in a Creep show.
Me.
I know that was
Creep show.
Yeah,
and then the scene in the morgue when he made the cross and was reciting the 23rd Psalm as the damn thing started moving. Come on, that was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So
the book though, if you ever get a chance to read that book, that is, I know that at this point in his career, Stephen King was writing these books on cocaine fueled, benders, and stuff like that. So, but I mean, the way he set up a scene and then took you through it. It was just so. I remember being. There was a special watch that I always volunteered for when I was in submarine school. We had a schoolhouse there, building that was built in the 50s, and it was largely abandoned because it used to be the old missile tech school. That thing moved to Illinois, but anyway. They have these trainers down in the basement, and one of them had a fire in it, and the base fire department had to break in. They had to use an axe to bash in the door so they could get in and fight the fire. Well, they didn't. It was going to take a while for them to get the approval to get the door replaced. So they had to post a guard down there because there was secret stuff in there, right? Publications and obviously the consoles and everything in there. So I used to volunteer for that because that was the only watch I'd ever stood at that point when I was in the Navy that allowed you to read a book while you're down there. Because all you were basically there to is to prevent somebody from going in, right? And I always volunteered for it. I'd go down there. I decided I was going to read Stephen King books. That was a mistake because that building was old and it had all kinds of aches and pains in it, and the wind would kick up and the whole building would kind of creak, and the plumbing in there was not the best, so sometimes that would make noise, and it was just every once I'd have to. Well, I don't know about that, but I'd have to read like maybe one or two pages, and I'd have to put the book down and stand up. And then okay, I'm gonna read the next 2 pages, put the book down, stand up.
Well, it kept you awake.
It did keep me awake. Yeah. I remember when I got out of the service, I For about 3 years, I had a job at a Holiday Inn Express as the night auditor. I was going to school full-time and working full-time at the hotel. And one night, I just decided I was going to read William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist. Big mistake. I didn't finish it. I was like, I got like maybe a third of the way in. I'm like, fuck this, you know.
The movie was bad enough. You read
You got me. The book is 10 times worse. You got me afraid of my own freaking shadow, you know.
I don't want to ask you how you thought of The Fog then. I'd hate to see you on a foggy night.
I've never seen The Fog.
That was the Adrian Barbeau
Yeah,
movie.
that's
I was
an
thinking
Adrian
of.
Barbeau movie. She
That was
played
John
the-
Carpenter, though.
She
Yeah,
plays
'cause
the
I-
nighttime DJ.
Yeah. Did she ever take her top off?
Well, you got to see some cleavage, but not full
No,
top
okay.
nudity.
Because I remember, because that was the best part of Swamp Thing when she went skinny dipping. You know, she was in the first Swamp Thing movie.
No, you might like The Fog because it has to deal with ghost pirates.
No, they weren't pirates.
Well, it kind of.
They were lepers and they got robbed.
I just call them pirates because they came in on a ship.
Yeah. They did look like pirates. I'll
Yeah.
give you that. But remember when the town preacher told the truth about what really happened, and you find out they were lepers, and the town got together and robbed them of the gold they were supposed to take with them.
Huh. I've been kind of on a kick lately of horror movies from the late 70s and early 80s.
Well, there you go. It fits right in because that's 1980.
Yeah. Yep. Not too long ago, I watched Wolfen with what the hell was that guy's name? Is never. Wolfen had Albert Finney in it.
Yeah.
New York
Edward
cop.
James-
Yep.
Edward James Olmos and Gregory Hines was in it.
Gregory Hines. Yep. And yeah, cop investigating murders that were by a gang of it was basically a pack of supernatural wolves that was moving through New York City, and you couldn't see them until right before they killed you. They used real wolves in the making of the movie too. That's, I think, one of the things that makes it more scary. When you see one, you're seeing a real wolf. You know, it's like ah.
Is that the one where they explained that a real lycanthrope could change at will? It wasn't just like at a full moon.
Well, these weren't lycanthropes. These were literal spirit animals. Yeah, they were not werewolves. It came out the same year that it was like there was 3 werewolf type movies that came out between 81 and 82. It was The Howling, American Werewolf, and then Wolfen. But Wolfen was different because it wasn't a werewolf movie. But the wolves were supernatural. They were like non-corporeal, like ghosts. But then yeah. One character in the movie claimed to be a shapeshifter, but yeah, they. There was also, I suppose you could count Cat People, the remake of Cat People, with Natasha, what her name was? Kinski, yeah.
Yeah, Klaus Kinski's daughter.
Yeah, that was in 82, and I think that had Malcolm McDowell in it and Annette O'Toole. So that was a little bit of a werewolf kind of thing, too, but like all Cat People movies that involved incest. You know, just like Sleepwalkers.
Well, hopefully you watch Phantasm since you're on this kick.
I haven't seen that one. There's a lot I haven't seen. I haven't seen like any of the Puppet Master movies. I know they exist, but I know what they're generally about, but I haven't seen those. They use a lot of stop motion.
Phantasm's great.
Yeah. You'd enjoy Phantasm. There's almost like a well, that's in later movies, but there's like even a sci-fi element to it.
And hopefully you'll watch Trilogy of Terror. Just for that damn voodoo doll.
Oh, yeah.
Karen Black.
Oh,
That
yeah.
damn thing freaked me out as a kid.
And guess where you can see it? I just put it up the other day. I just put it up the other day.
Yeah.
That movie freaked me out as a kid like hell.
Yeah.
That little fucking doll.
Especially when it comes out of the tub with the knife between his teeth.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it was that period of time was so. It's like you only had two kinds of horror films back then. You had the boogeyman movies, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw, and Nightmare on Elm Street. And then you had the rest of them, and sometimes they would merge a little bit, Hellraiser, Child's Play, and things like that. But then once in a while you'd have something really neat like Pumpkinhead, or yeah.
It's still 80s. So you have to throw movies in there like Amityville.
Amityville Horror.
Amityville Horror. I see. The scariest thing about that movie was the house right in the beginning when they show the sunrise behind it, and it looked like a jack-o'-lantern. Hey,
Turn it back on. I want to see if you're still blurry. Yep.
Yeah.
Am I really?
Yeah.
Too much streaming.
Camera,
It's
though.
like your camera's fucked up.
Mr. Lundell was perfectly clear, and then we get LDG. Looks like he used one of them.
This is a shitty camera. As long as I'm not pixelated. Am I pixelated?
Damn near.
Yes. Yep.
Damn near. Yep.
Really?
You look
like Mario Brothers.
You look like Max Headroom's retarded cousin.
Yeah.
Mr. Lundell, do you have a ceiling fan in your
Yeah.
living room there? Okay, that's what I thought that thing was at the top there. Okay.
And he's got it going on high.
I don't know what you're talking about. He has no ceiling fan. You're having a stroke.
Probably.
Oh, the modest one. Hello.
Yes, Rabbit Sluggy, LDG is a block. Dun 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 dun.
Dude, I don't even fucking know anymore, man. Why does StreamYard hate me?
I don't
You
know.
abuse it.
Because you're running it through too many things. You're trying to run it through too many things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't running shit through nothing right now. This is straight up from a laptop. I should not be fucking blurry. I mean, yeah, the camera's a piece of shit. It might look like,
That's
grainy or whatever, or the colors are like I turn purple and fucking red and shit. But besides the color screws up and the noise and the front filter, I should not be pixelated.
Well, see,
We were talking about Stephen King earlier. One of his most successful movies wasn't even a horror movie. It was Stand By Me.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Stand By Me.
Yeah. Yeah. The story was actually called The Body, and I think it was in one of those weird collections that he did. It was like 3 novellas in one, or maybe it was 4. I think it was in the same book that had Apt Pupil in it, and a couple other things that became movies too that he did that weren't necessarily horror.
And they all kind of intertwined with each other because you had characters from that was in Needful Things and everything else, and
yeah,
it was basically all the same area anyway.
Yeah, I remember reading Cujo and just hating it because it's like he threw so many red herrings in it. Like he went into all this detail about this murderer that had been executed, nearby, and then they cut to the dog, and he making you try to maybe imply that, that maybe the dog was possessed by a murderer. No, he just had rabies,
That's what I thought through the whole movie. This is a movie about a rabid dog.
Yeah. And but in the book, the little boy dies at the end, and so you're thinking, what was the point? In the movie, they didn't do that, but,
Well, it had to have a happy ending.
Yeah.
Had enough little boys biting the big one anyway when you had Pet Cemetery.
Oh.
Yeah. Pet Sematary was a hard one for me to watch because my grandfather had just died. And he was a spitting image of Fred Gwynn. So
that would be hard to watch.
Yeah, and yeah, Pet Cemetery was the book that he wrote it. He wrote the manuscript, and his wife read it, and she hated it, and he reread it, and he hated it. He thought he'd gone too far, and he threw it in a drawer. But then he needed to turn in a book to fulfill a public, a double, like his deal with Doubleday. He needed one more manuscript, and he's like, "Oh God!" And he reaches into the drawer and gives him that manuscript, and
and they go, "Great, wonderful,
yes,
sell 1 million copies."
Yeah, and he, I mean. It's kind of funny because I remember when It came out, and somebody told me, so because it was a friggin' monster of a book. It was huge. I'm like, no, I won't read that. I'll read this other shorter one over here, Carrie. And but somebody told me, the kids in that story, they have sex with each other in the sewers. It's like one girl and like 4 boys. I'm like, really? Yikes, And of course, I think that King was so popular at the time, people kind of overlooked that. But today, man, people are sensitive to that stuff even more so today. It's sensitive when it happens in fictional stories. I'm talking about not in real life. People are just as passionate about that being wrong in real life as they were back then. But
except on Twitter.
Yeah, he publicly said he felt he had to make a statement about that. He's like, it was just crazy writing. He says it was.
I mean, but that whole
cocaine's hell of a drug.
Point. I mean, time. I mean, Brooke Shields was 12, 13. Okay.
Yeah. That was horrible. What happened to her? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of her movies, she was like 8, 9, 10 years old. She was a prostitute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, she did a nude photo shoot, and I mean, a little girl, and it's just I've not seen it, but I saw like a documentary about it, and of course they edit out, they blurify most of it, but you can tell what kind of pictures they were.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like, why was no one enraged by this? I don't know.
I mean, just think about her mother.
Oh,
was making her do this.
Yeah.
Her mother was cool with this shit.
Yeah, okay. And then the sad thing was, as soon as Brooke Shields became an adult, nobody cared about her anymore. True. It's like she. I mean, I think the Blue Lagoon was like the last thing she did before. Maybe she did. I think she did a movie with George Burns, and then she got into her 20s, and that was it.
Uh-huh.
She stopped acting, and that was her. Probably tried to get a normal life somewhere.
She ended up with like a degree from Harvard. So. Yeah,
there you go. You can do a lot with that, I've heard. But another one that was in the 70s was a kind of a heartthrob, or whatever you want to call it. I guess heartthrobs are male. Was Christy Mcnichol.
Yeah.
Actually, Brooke Shields did quite a bit after Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, but I mean, she was not the sex symbol that she, is she?
Oh no, she was doing Muppet stuff and Brenda Star and Quantum Leap and.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she was in Quantum Leap too. I didn't realize.
Oh yeah, that's right. She did. She played like this spoiled chick that got marooned on an island with some common guy.
Gotcha. Where have I heard that story before?
Yeah, right.
Okay, but TV. I mean, she went to TV, and that's the opposite direction, from movies. But yeah, I mean, every once in a while you get a woman like that. Like Megan Fox, I remember at one point was the hottest. Everybody couldn't wait to see what she was going to do, and I don't think she never gave it away. I don't think she ever appeared nude. And if she did, it was her character who was nude. They probably hired a body double. But I don't even know who the hottie is now. Just don't care.
There was the other kid actor, Tatum O'Neal, Brian O'Neal's daughter.
Hey, I had a big crush on her growing up.
Megan Fox?
No. Tatum O'Neal.
Tatum O'Neal, okay. I had a crush on Megan Follows.
Never heard of her.
Did you ever hear of something called Anne of Green Gables?
Heard of it.
I've heard of it.
Megan Follows is a Canadian actress. Her most notable thing she did was she played Anne Shirley in the on WonderWorks for Anne of Green Gables, where she was this little girl who became a woman kind of deal. And she was also in a lot of like after school specials kind of things, The Littlest Hobo, and a lot of these little teen dramas about, a teenage girl wanting to run away from home and stuff like that. And that's who I had a bit of a crush on there. She's about 53 now, so. But she had red hair. A lot of the stuff that I saw her on was on PBS because it was all Canadian television, so they would adaptions of books and things like that.
Usually they weren't that great though.
Well, back then when that was all we had. She was okay. So the first time I saw her was on a Canadian show called Matt and Jenny, which was about these two children in 1850 trying to make their way across Canada. Duncan Rhaegar was in that show too. He's an actor you'd recognize, Canadian actor. He was the ghost that fucked Beverly Crusher in that awful episode of TNG. That's what Star Trek fans remember him as.
Oh, okay. I don't think that was that bad an episode.
I think it doesn't age well.
Right.
It's also one of those shows where they didn't film like on a location. They created the cabin and the woods on a set, and that is kind of a standard Star Trek thing. But at the same time, by that deep into the series, they'd been on location a lot, and going.
With me, what was bad about it, that colony was Scottish, and you had aliens walking around in tartan.
And speaking with a Scottish accent too. Because they were just fans of it. That they Picard even asked the guy who was in alien makeup. He goes, you're obviously not Scottish yourself. What are you doing here? And he's like, well, I just love this place, and decided to settle here, and things like that. And I thought that was kind of interesting. The idea of an alien coming and wanting to be an Earthling, basically.
Why?
I understand why, but I mean,
Scotland,
it's like
of all places,
of all places, yeah. The drinking, the bar fights. I mean, come on. But I mean, I think the thing that everybody talks about with that episode was how the guy was pretended to be a ghost, but what he really was some sort of vapor alien, and he would turn into vapor, and then he would like envelop Beverly, and she's like having orgasms and shit. And it's like, okay, are we supposed to be seeing this? This is basically like the sci-fi version of Young Lady Chatterley here, you know. And and then the ghost mist goes into her dead grandmother and animates her body. And it's like, am I seeing this? What is this? You know, it's like...
I said the same thing when I saw the Johnny Bravo meets Scooby-Doo parody. Yeah,
No,
you gotta see it. You gotta see it. Sorry. Anyway,
hold me back.
yeah, they were doing all the jokes and the whole yard.
Scooby-Doo.
Why don't you go in that room? Oh, wait a second.
I absolutely despised Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. And everybody, all the kids, it's Scooby-Doo's on. Let's watch Scooby-Doo. I'm like, you know what's going to happen, don't you? The monster is going to turn out to be not real. It's a person in a costume trying to scare people away so he can buy a piece of property. That's exactly what every single freaking thing episode is about. And Thelma is always the one who puts it all together at the end and makes everybody feel stupid. So you keep tuning into Scooby-Doo wanting to see a monster, and you're not really seeing a monster in terms of the narrative of the story. You're seeing a talking dog that could be considered a monster. You know, you're seeing a skinny as fuck flower child beatnik fucker, but you know. That's
Oh, come on, basically, let's call him what he was. He was a pothead.
Yeah, pothead. Yeah,
outfit.
Always had the munchies. Yeah, and then you had the guy with the ascot, you know, who always wanted to get, have the chicks to himself. It's like, Velma and Daphne and I'll go this way. Shaggy, you take Scooby and go that way. You know, it's like, ascot boy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, Scooby, and of course Scooby-Doo was such a popular cartoon that everything Hanna-Barbera did after that had to have some relation or something in common with Scooby-Doo. So they came out with Jabberjaw, they came out with Speed Buggy. It was always the same formula. Then they got the DC Comics license to do Justice League cartoons. They create the Super Friends, and what do? Marvin, Wendy, and Wonder Dog. It's Scooby-Doo again. You got Shaggy as a superhero, Velma as a superhero, and then you got a talking dog. And then later they changed it they kind of went with a Space Ghost thing. Space Ghost, had his two twin, teenage sidekicks, and they had a monkey, right?
Jan and Jace.
No,
and so then
they were not Space Ghost. Space Ghost still had a dog too. It was the Wonder Twins had a monkey on Super Friends.
This they did, but there was also a monkey on that the sidekicks of Space Ghost had.
Well, I know Space Ghost also had the dog.
Okay, let's take a look.
Hi, sci-fi guy.
Yeah, their pet monkey was Blip. It was Jan, Jace, and their pet monkey Blip. And over on Super Friends, it was Jan and Jaina. Or whatever, Zan and Jaina, and the monkey was Gleek.
I thought Space Ghost had a dog too.
No. Now you might be thinking of
that was
Blue Falcon and Wonder Dog.
Okay, Blue Falcon.
Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt, which was also kind of a Scooby-Doo thing too, because that dog talked as well. In fact, I think there was even a crossover cartoon with Scooby-Doo and Dino Mutt.
So hold up. So Scooby-Doo wasn't until '69. You had the Flintstones at the 60s.
Right.
And they had a half-talking dog, Dino.
Dino didn't talk.
Dino kind of talked.
He just was a dog.
Yeah, boy. What?
Yeah, he didn't talk.
He didn't talk outright, but he still communicated.
LD, he didn't talk.
No,
He stole the dog.
No, he didn't.
He didn't talk.
Fred would come home from work and Dino would knock him down.
Jetsons was 1962, and if I remember correctly, that dog talked.
Show me footage.
No, the Jetsons.
The Jetsons. I gotta show you footage for the Jetsons.
Well, here's the thing. We're not even talking about that, though. We're talking about the effect that Scooby-Doo had on cartoons they made that came later.
And I'm telling you that it was affected by cartoons they made even earlier than that.
Okay, you should
Well,
have
I
led with
guess
that then.
if you want to go with that, then I guess we blame it all on Lassie and Rin Tin Tin. Damn it!
Right.
Yeah, what, Lassie? What's under the? Yeah, exactly.
And we blame it
Yeah.
on Mr. Ed and Francis the Talking Mule.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the first time that they had this group.
But it was the specific combination of a talking thing and also a group of teenagers.
Yeah.
That's the Scooby-Doo formula. And so when they took it, then they created Jabberjaw, then they created Speed Buggy, then they created Captain Caveman is kind of loose on it, but then they also added it to their DC Comics license and Super Friends until the mid 70s, and then they instead switched to to copying their formula from Space Ghost with the two teenagers who were siblings and a pet monkey.
Yeah.
Like I said, it evolved.
As long as they weren't spanking the monkey, it was okay.
I seriously think it goes back even further than that.
Yeah.
And then he had all the Scooby-Doo offshoots.
Scrappy-Doo
and whoever else.
Puppy power.
Do you remember? And then in the 80s, the big thing was groups of animals, and then Muppet Babies kind of created a whole bunch of stuff too. Like they all of a sudden they had to show you the Smurfs when they were little babies, and it's just
There was a lot of baby there.
Damn it! I knew this was going to come up. I knew this was going to come up.
What?
Yvette and her best
Natural.
crossover, Scooby Natural.
Never heard of it.
An episode of Supernatural that did a crossover with Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Supernatural is a great album from Santana. That's it.
Honestly, though, my favorite cartoons on Saturday morning when I was growing up were the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, because they were so awesomely violent, and we didn't care, and so were the Tom and Jerry cartoons. They played those on after school, but and I'm sorry, I just loved it when Donald Duck would be holding a stick of dynamite, it'd go off, and his beak would fall off. And then he'd put it on backwards, and he had to straighten it out, and
It's Duck season.
yeah.
Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century.
Yeah. I was a pretty good fan of frickin' Nickelodeon with
You weirdo.
Count Duckula.
Now, see, I remember when Nickelodeon didn't have any commercials, and it prided itself on that before it was sold to Viacom. That's the real Nickelodeon,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned. Yeah.
You can't do that in television. It was prime.
I remember when I finally outgrew that friggin' show. When you know exactly what the joke's going to be just in the first 5 seconds, the locker jokes were my least favorite part of that show.
All right, you brought up Muppet Babies. Who was the woman in the series?
The mother, maid, or
Yep.
whatever.
Oh, it was the granny.
Was it? I thought it was a maid. Was it Granny? I thought
Yeah, it was the old
did the
woman that
voice?
had Tweety Bird.
Who did the
Yeah,
voice?
Tweety Bird. That was Tweety
No,
Bird.
not Muppet Babies.
Muppet Babies was the. I could have sworn it was like the housekeeper or something.
Barbara Billingsley.
There you go. Darren got it.
It actually was, though.
She wasn't
Never
doing
saw
her jive talking thing from Hairplane either.
I
That would
never
have been
liked
funny.
that trope where you had a character where you only saw their legs.
Why
That was
not? You
Tom
had
and
Charlie
Jerry.
Brown. Every time you heard an
I-
adult, all you heard was wah 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 wah
Yeah, I thought-
wah 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 wah.
Tom and Jerry
wah.
did that, and it was almost always the black housekeeper's legs.
Mm-hmm.
And she was always beating the crap out of that cat. I love that. The mouse would trick the cat into getting caught by the maid, and she'd be just whacking that. I always thought that was funny. And then you got on Simpsons, they had a parody of Tom and Jerry called Itchy and Scratchy, which where the violence was over the top. You guys see that at all?
Scratchy was good though.
I mean, the cat would get caught in like a combine, and they'd show what happens to a cat. Yeah, they'd show you what would happen if a cat got caught in a combine.
I always love it when they have like shows within shows. Like there was one that you didn't even get to see what the show was, but as soon as you heard the music play, Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad.
Yeah. Riding out across the plain.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole
Can't keep track of the wives he's slain. Psycho Dad.
That was great. Oh, I loved it.
Or Terrence and Phillip on South Park. They have the Terrence and Phillip show.
Yeah, Terrence and Phillip. Yep.
They
Oh man, am I still here?
Yes, Bird, you're still here. You slept for a while.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.
Good night, Bird.
Take care.
Later.
He got a good hour nap.
Yeah, he got a nap. Came here just for a nap. As a matter of fact, you might as well just have like a bed avatar. Or something. Like, here you go. You got a bed here. Who wants to go to sleep?
That's already Rosetta's shtick.
This was the real bed life stream, folks, with Bird of Prey 5. At least he's not like some and snore though.
Yeah. Yep. You got any of that on tape, Deej?
Oh, I'm sure there's some tape somewhere.
He did a sleep stream for Pete's sakes.
Yeah.
Psycho Dad.
I think one episode they had the audio for something called Psycho Mom too, and of course that turned out to be Peg's favorite show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Get him, Kronos. Get him, Kronos.
Boy, too much funny.
Name the dog Kronos.
Okay, now I got it stuck in my head. Fuck. Shark baby. How's that song go? Good. I can't remember the fucking song. There we go. Okay, I'm good.
Baby shark.
I'm good. Fix me. All right, seriously, I'm good.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to remember that next time you fall asleep in the back room, we just start singing Baby Shark and get you to dream about that.
Like that, and it actually works. Like I'm gonna kill you. I will be pissed.
The one movie I do want to see, and I'll probably buy it digitally before I buy an actual physical copy of it, is Ralph Bakashi's Fire and Ice.
Never heard of it.
It's mostly rotoscoped. It's a fantasy. It was designed by Frank Frazetta, and but a lot of it's rotoscoped, and it was one of those rare pieces of non-Disney fantasy, animated fantasy in the early 80s. Fire and Ice. It's right up there with Heavy Metal as a cult classic, but I didn't care for Heavy Metal. The only part of Heavy Metal I liked was the B-17 segment and Captain Stern. When they're reading all of Captain Stern's charges.
And one movie violation.
Yeah. 22 counts of rape. And one moving violation.
Hey, that movie, Moving Violations, was funny.
No, but the B-17 part I liked because it was the only part of that movie that was 100% serious. It was going for the scare, for that ECW, or not ECW, EC Comics, Tales from the Crypt vibe.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, it's one segment in the movie, and I thought that was great. But The den part I couldn't stand because I couldn't stand John Candy's narration.
I thought that was perfect because he kind of had the nerd voice down. Period.
I suppose, but there's something about the Den comics that the movie didn't include. I don't know if you've seen any of the Den comics, but you know what I'm talking about. When you got sucked into that dimension and turned into this bald, hulking hero, you were naked. And then if you were they had a sequel to it where a girl went into that universe and she was bald, but she had she had a great big huge chest. And she was just like, holy cow. It was like, yeah. I remember being really surprised when I saw the Watchmen movie and they actually kept Dr. Manhattan nude in the parts that he was supposed to be nude in. I'm surprised they didn't just leave the Speedo on him. Like, oh wow, they went there, 'cause, Yeah. Do you remember the movie Xanadu, Deej?
Oh yeah.
Olivia Newton-John. That was like the last gasp of disco. Yep. I think it came out a year after disco already died. And it was all on roller skates, as I recall, too. It was roller skating disco, which is really bad.
Yeah, and the roller disco actually came after disco died. That was the sad part.
Yeah. And that was back when Olivia Newton-John was this huge star. She made 4 movies, and then I think she was done. Went back to Australia.
Let me see. Xanadu. She did
Grease. Two of a Kind.
And what's the last one?
Let's see here. Olivia Newton-John. Filmography. Grease, Xanadu, Two of a Kind. And you know what? That's it. I think she did 2 movies in one in 1965 called Funny Things Happen Down Under, and then another one called Tomorrow. But Grease, Xanadu, and Two of a Kind were the big ones. And then the next movie she did was all the way up in 1990. So, she did an ABC special called Let's Get Physical.
Yeah, let's face it. The video for that song is the only really thing that most of us remember about her.
It was mostly beefcake. It wasn't fat dudes.
We could put that out of our mind and just focus in on her in the outfit. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. They made us sing that song in 2nd grade, and that's a really dirty song. The lyrics went right over our heads. We didn't know.
Well, at least it wasn't a version of where Richard Simmons was singing it to you.
Richard Simmons. Don't be a piggy. Oh.
Get him, Cronus. Get him, Cronus.
My mom actually bought one of those deal-a-meal wallets. When my dad and I found out about that, because we found it, he found it in like a drawer. And I'm like, he goes, Darren, what? You know what this is? I'm like, what is that? And I opened it up, and I'm like, deal-a-meal. Your mother bought a deal-a-meal. It's a wallet, right? And it was like $60, which in the 80s was a lot of money, right? It was like, I can't believe you bought that, It's like,
The only good thing about the Richard Simmons show was listening to him badmouth them women.
This is so funny because my mom was like, "Yeah, the idea is that each card has a different calorie number, and you start the day with your cards on one side of the wallet, and when they're all on the other side of the wallet, you're done for the day." She's like, "I was done. I had all the cards on the other side of the wallet by about 9:30 in the morning." And so she threw it in the drawer and never used it. And
remembering back on those commercials, the first question I asked was, how is that going to help you lose weight? It just didn't make any sense.
no, you still needed to discipline yourself. That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, you want to know what helps you lose weight? Prison. Being confined, being physically kept away from food for a long time,
Yeah.
that works. Boot camp's an excellent diet. At least it was for me.
Not
I mean, some guys
really.
gained weight.
I mean,
really.
I put on the pounds in basic.
Okay, yeah, some guys did put on pounds in basic.
Yeah,
I dropped about 20 pounds in basic.
Some of us in basic training kind of like the KP duty. Because then we could sit there and drink pop and eat cake all damn day.
Yeah, we didn't have pop at Navy basic training because, I don't know.
Well, we did. We weren't supposed to touch it most of the time. But, when you work KP duty and most of the kitchen help is an outside catering service, they don't give a shit if you're back there drinking it and eating the cake. So they let you do it.
Yeah, it's no.
Well, we had to do something at Fort Benning because all they wanted to do is feed you damn rice all the time, and that shit gets sickening after twice a day, every fucking day.
Yeah, we had chicken. Every meal was chicken.
I would have loved to have had chicken every meal, not fucking rice every damn day.
Oh.
Well, Jeffrey, we weren't supposed to eat it either, but when we were on KP duty, we just don't have anybody really in charge of us.
I never worked in the galley. I worked in the barracks. I was okay. So they always had me as the forward compartment watch in the barracks because I had the best handwriting, or was one of the guys that had the best handwriting in the division. So I always had to write in the logs, and that was. It's like, okay, so like, and they probably did something similar to this in the Army and whatever branch you were in, Deej, I can't remember.
Army,
where they have you pull out a piece of paper and they want you to write a paragraph as to why you joined the Army or the Navy. Obviously for us it was Navy. And you write this thing, right?
Yeah, I had to do push-ups because of mine.
And you really try to impress them. And you turn it in. They're not interested in anything you've actually written. They're looking at your handwriting. Because if you have really good handwriting, they want to put you in the forward.
Oh, no, they read ours, and I had to do push-ups because of mine.
Okay. Really?
Because I wrote on there, I thought this would be more like stripes.
Oh, them drills loved you, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, they really loved me after that one.
Yeah, I remember a buddy of mine named Phillips who followed me from basic training. He was in my basic training class. Then he was in my basic enlisted submarine school class. Then he followed me to sonar school, and then we ended up in the same boat together. So he was everywhere I went. I turn around, and there's Phillips. Phillips was from West Virginia, but if you really wanted to get him pissed off, you'd say he's from East Kentucky, and he'd be like, "You shut the hell up." But anyway, he in boot camp, it was towards the end of basic training where the company commanders or whatever they call them in the Army, drill instructors, I guess, they're starting to go easy on you because you're almost done, right? And Phillips, asked Petty Officer Morris, who's the more acerbic of the two that we had, Petty Officer Morris, and I have a stupid question. And Morrison goes, "The only stupid question is the one not asked." "What's the question?" "What rank was Popeye?" That was a stupid question. Drop. Popeye was a civilian sailor, you dumb fuck. It's like, you know.
I really thought it'd be more like Stripes, though. Damn it! Come on.
Well, in Stripes, I mean, they recruit you right out of a basic training to man a fortified RV. You know, I mean, the most realistic thing about Stripes was where they filmed the movie.
Yeah.
You know, they actually filmed it at a place that pushes boots. Yeah. So I mean, I just remember, you know, John Larroquette. You know,
we did a few important things in basic that we had to do, like guard the money once a month when it come in. They'd actually take us out of training for the day and
Fort
make
Knox?
us stand around. No, it was Benning.
Oh, okay.
They'd bring in the pay for the month, and they would take us recruits out there and make us do the stand guard all night long.
One of my favorite parts in Stripes is when John Larroquette, you know, is watching men, you know, do the obstacle course, and they're doing it the way they're supposed to, you know, with Army gusto and, you know, gung ho-ness and whatever. He goes, "Those are fine men. Are those my men? No, sir. Here comes your company." And here comes John Candy and Harold Ramis running down the hill. Woo! You know, one of them racks his nuts on a log.
I got it this time, Kronos. I got it this time, Kronos.
Bill Murray can barely do like 5 push-ups, and then they join his first day in the Army. They want him to do 50 push-ups.
And hello, Chris. Chris Knight, the Real Review 3000 is in the house.
The interesting thing about Stripes also, I remember, was how when they went into the I forget what they call the bathroom in the Army, but all the commodes just lined up on the wall, you know,
latrine,
whatever you want to call it, and you know, at least we had stalls, you know, in Navy Basic. They didn't have any doors on them, but we had stalls, you know. So
oh boy. Hell, we've been at this for 2 hours now. Where the hell does time go?
the other favorite line I had from Stripes was, you know, it's Czechoslovakia. We're not going into Russia. It's Czechoslovakia. It's like driving into Wisconsin.
I don't know. The only thing I seen Chris yell is bot, and then he said, "Mr. Lundell, I mean no disrespect to you, just FYI, I don't know. Maybe he thought you were supposed to get the bot. I don't know."
I don't have a hammer. I can't get the bot.
Yeah, Kronos was on the job there, but you know, Kronos missed that last one because Kronos is probably double dipping somewhere, and he's watching somebody else because he found us boring. I don't know.
I remember one year, right in the middle of the 80s, it might have been in 83 or so, maybe 84, when all of a sudden every cartoon on Saturday morning was based on a video game. You guys remember that?
That had to be.
Yeah,
That
CBS
was like
called. Oh, this was early 80s because it was Pac-Man, it was Donkey Kong. You know, over on ABC you had Pole Position. On CBS they called it. They changed it. You know, Saturday morning cartoons are now called Saturday Starcade because every friggin' cartoon was based off of a video game, and they all sucked. And the next year, all the old cartoons came back.
Yeah, they had that stupid one. It was a really good video game because they had like the best graphics at the time. That dungeon, whatever, the
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. But
Yeah,
that
it was like
cartoon sucked. That
Yeah.
cartoon sucked.
Yeah, but there was that one year where all of a sudden, everything except for the highest rated cartoons like Smurfs, everything except like Smurfs was replaced with Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and they all sucked. And then the next year they replaced all of them with the old favorites again. It's like for 1 year all those animation companies had to take like a hiatus.
Yeah, the cartoons just weren't that as good as like the
Talking
ones
about
from
that,
the 70s.
Sorry, I'm back now. Are you talking about that one cartoon I used to love watching?
No,
The
talking
race
about
car?
one. No, we're talking about 1 year when all three major networks replaced their Saturday morning cartoon lineups, or most of it, with adaptions of popular video games from Atari. They even had a Frogger cartoon.
Oh,
How do you base a cartoon out of Frogger?
Yeah. Last one. I was remembering that one. What was that cartoon where they all had? You had a crossover from all the different cartoons, and they all raced. They're like Yogi Bear.
Yeah, that was.
Man.
I know what you're talking about. That was
like the Wacky Racers.
Didn't they have multiple ones too?
It was all Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
It was all Hanna-Barbera Olympics. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there was something like that, the Hanna-Barbera Olympics, but they also had one. It was the Wacky Racers.
Wacky Racers and the Laugh Olympics.
Laugh Olympics, that's what it was. Laugh Olympics. And it was Laugh Olympics was based on something else that was going on television at the time. It was called the Battle of the Network Stars.
I love that show.
Yeah.
That show was hilarious to see them TV shows going against each other.
Yeah. They did fun things like, had I think Gil Gerard from Buck Rogers against Lee Majors from $6 Million Man or something. It was just like, in like a golf match or something. I don't remember. Or a ring race.
They had them doing like Olympic events too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you had Yogi's Yahooies, Scooby's Doobies, and the Really Rottens. Those were the three groups of characters, and they were all based on the various Hanna-Barbera families. So obviously Yogi, was all the classic ones with, Grape Ape and Snagglepuss, and then you had Scooby's Doobies, which had Speed Racer, Blue Falcon, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. And then you had the Really Rottens, which were like bad guys, and they were,
Mudley, Dick Dastardly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot that was called Laugh Olympics. Wow.
Well, folks, it's 2 hours. I'm starting to get a little wound down.
Okay.
Well, at least you got to talk today, Darren.
Yeah, that was nice.
It's a lot better than yesterday, where you just got to come up and say like 3 words the entire time.
And B was on a roll. He was telling war stories in his blow by blow way.
You missed it. You missed it, Mr. Londell, because he's doing one of his long story short things that kept going on forever. And I had it scrolling on the bottom of the screen. If he went into the long version, we'd be here another 48-hour stream.
This is what his stories are like. One guy says, that's not true, and the other guy goes, yes, it is. And I said, yes, it is. No, it's not. It's like that's like, I'm like, okay, and B, cut that part out of the story. Mm-hmm. Just, you don't have to give us a blow by blow, second by second account of your story. Just give us the short shit.
Do not turn it into the song that doesn't end. Okay.
Yes.
I know a song. Oh, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, anybody got anything coming up?
I might have another potluck type video. I think I'm going to call them instead of saying potluck video, I think I'm going to call it the torpedo room, and it'll be just a video that has a bunch of topics in it that I rattle off from social media.
Right.
So if anybody has any questions for me, they can
If you
hit me
called
up.
it potluck video, you could do it like the old MTV VH1 thing. Pop up video. You do potluck video.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm being stupid. Hello, pop culture. Mr. Londell, what you got coming up?
Not a
Over
damn
on Odyssey.
thing. Well, I'd have to. I finally have the funds. I need to do a live stream and do a riff. I got to pick the movie. It's been kind of busy, so I haven't had time to rack my brain for which one. Got to pick a good one, and I got to tear it up. So.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
and if anybody hasn't noticed, I actually joined GETTR. There's a link down in the description how you can find me on GETTR now too.
GETTR.
Mr. Londow, I don't know if this counts as old enough, but I think Robert Green mentioned it. Someone mentioned it. I looked it up and I'm like, oh, this is totally riftable, and I want to watch this. It was called Space of Terrors. Space of Terrors? Shit.
Huh.
Something of Terror.
Trilogy of Terror?
Yeah, Trilogy of Terror. Is that it? Yeah. That sounds right.
With Karen Black. I did that on my old channel. You remember?
Did you?
You, Resolute, and I think CCDV were there.
Okay, wait, no, it's not Trilogy of Terror. It's not Trilogy of Terror. Shit. Damn, we just talked about it on our show today. War. It's a. What the hell was the movie about? I even watched the fucking preview. Okay, you know what? Just give me a minute. I'll look it up in my history.
Well, Deej is trying to close the stream.
Yeah,
so.
I'm trying to close the
Galaxy
stream
of
down.
Shut up. Galaxy of Terror. Galaxy of Terror.
Oh, James Cameron's movie. Yeah.
Galaxy. I've never seen that one, I don't think.
Roger
Watch the
Corman.
preview. Roger
Corman produced it. Yeah, it's probably not public domain. But...
Yeah, but
All
if
right.
it's Roger Corman, it's totally rippable.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and watch Pet It Tuesday. So, and I'm going to go to bed. So I'll see you guys later.
I haven't.
All right, take it easy, folks, and everybody have a safe day. And the standard thing.
Oh, get the hell out of here. Go on, you go on, get the hell out of here.
Now I know why Darren wanted to leave early. He hates it when you play this.
He just hates it because I never get the name of the song right. It's the Lonely Guy or Lonely Man or some shit like that. He'll remind me next time.